All right. Welcome back, everyone, for another deep dive. This one was specifically requested.
Oh, cool.
We are going to be taking a look at some excerpts from the updated version of Your Money or Your Life.
Yeah.
Now, you might be thinking another personal finance book, but trust me, this one's a little different.
It is, yeah.
It's not just about budgeting or investing.
Oh, right.
It's about uncovering this incredible link between your money and your life energy, and then using that connection to, kind of achieve true fulfillment.
Yeah, and I think Your Money or Your Life is a really good example of a book that's not like your typical financial advice book,
Right.
It really gets into the philosophy behind our relationship with money.
Yeah.
And it encourages kind of a complete mindset shift.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what I really appreciate about it is that, of course, we're going to be exploring, how to gain control of your finances and achieve financial independence.
Sure.
But it's so much more than that.
Yeah.
It's about understanding how our spending choices reflect our values.
Our purpose.
Our purpose.
Yeah.
And ultimately, how we're choosing to spend our precious time on this planet.
It really is, yeah.
Right.
It challenges you to look at your life through a different lens to see how your work, your spending, even your leisure time are all interconnected and contribute to that overall sense of satisfaction that we're all kind of looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let's jump right in to one of the core concepts of the book, which is this idea that money equals life energy.
Yeah.
Joe Dominguez, who was, the co-author of the book, was really passionate about this idea.
Yeah, he was.
And he argued that we should view each dollar as a tiny piece of our lives that we've traded for it.
Yeah, and I think that's such a crucial point because when you start to think about it that way, it forces you to confront the reality of your choices, right? Like if money represents the hours of your life that you spent spending it, are you spending it in a way that actually aligns with your values? Are you getting fulfillment and satisfaction in return for those hours that you've worked?
It's like you suddenly see your spending in terms of the time it took to earn that money.
Right.
And that can be pretty eye-opening.
It really can be.
And so to help you, kind of calculate this, the book introduces this very simple equation for what they call your real hourly wage.
Yeah.
So it's basically your total income minus all of your job-related expenses.
Okay.
Divided by the total number of hours you work.
And it's important to consider all those hidden job-related expenses, right?
Yes,
I mean, it's not just your commute.
Right.
It's things like,
Yeah, what are some of the examples they give?
Well, they talk about things like work clothes.
Oh, yeah.
Professional development courses that you're required to take.
Yeah.
Even that extra takeout you order because you're too tired to cook after a long day at work.
Oh, right, yeah.
Or even, the weekend trips that are designed to help you de-stress from a job you don't love.
Whoa, yeah. I never thought about escape entertainment being a job-related expense.
Exactly. It's all those things.
They're making total sense.
That are essentially costing you time and money because of your job.
Yeah, and they really want you to track every single penny.
Every penny.
That comes in and goes out.
It's all about awareness.
No matter how small.
Yeah, I know it might sound daunting to some people.
Right.
But it's not about being restrictive or judgmental.
Yeah.
It's just about awareness. Becoming mindful of where your life energy is actually going.
Yeah, and they have this really cool system too.
Yeah.
Called the monthly tabulation.
Right.
And it's basically a way to categorize your spending.
It is, yeah.
And you get to create categories that make sense for your life.
I love that about it.
Right.
It's so customized.
So you might have categories like, dining out with friends.
Right.
Or gifts for family. Alongside your typical, housing or groceries.
Exactly. And the beauty of the system is that it's completely customizable to your own needs and priorities.
Right.
So it's a way to kind of really paint a clear picture of your spending habits.
Yes.
And see where your money's actually going.
And once you have that picture, they prompt you to ask these 3 key questions about each spending category. And I think these questions are really where the rubber meets the road.
They are.
So the first question is, did I receive fulfillment, satisfaction, and value in proportion to the life energy spent?
Oh, that is such a powerful question.
It is, right.
Because it makes you really evaluate whether your spending aligns with your values and if it brings you genuine satisfaction. Like, are you getting your money's worth? Yeah.
Not just in dollars, but in the time and energy you invested.
Yeah. And then the second question is this expenditure of life energy in alignment with my values and life purpose?
That one digs even deeper, right?
It does.
It challenges you to consider if your spending is supporting your bigger goals and aspirations.
Right.
Are you using your resources in a way that reflects what truly matters to you?
And then the final question is kind of like, how might this expenditure change if I didn't have to work for money?
Oh, that's a fascinating one.
It is.
Because it forces you to imagine a world where your income isn't tied to a specific job.
Right.
Where your time is truly your own.
Yeah.
And it allows you to kind of dream a little and consider how your priorities might shift if you weren't beholden to a paycheck.
You know, they give an example in the book about this woman.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
Who realized she was spending a huge amount of money on clothes that she rarely wore.
And then, you know, after asking herself these 3 questions, she discovered that her shopping wasn't really about the clothes themselves.
Right.
It was about, like, seeking external validation. And that was like a major aha moment for her.
It's a perfect example of how these questions can really reveal the underlying motivations behind our spending habits.
Right.
And, you know, it's not about feeling guilty or depriving yourself. It's about gaining that clarity.
Right.
And making choices that actually align with what truly matters to you. Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about tracking our spending and asking those tough questions about, you know, where our money is going.
Yeah.
But where does this concept of enough fit into all of this?
That's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
Your money or your life introduces this idea of the fulfillment curve.
Okay.
And it suggests that as we acquire like necessities and comforts, our happiness increases. We feel more secure, more content. But there's a point where this curve levels off. Okay. It reaches a peak, and they call that enough.
So it's not saying that basic needs and comforts don't matter.
Not at all.
But that beyond a certain point, accumulating more stuff doesn't actually lead to more happiness.
Exactly. The book argues that once you have enough, the curve can actually start to decline.
Oh, interesting.
More stuff can lead to more stress, more debt, less overall fulfillment.
Okay.
We get caught up in this cycle of wanting more, thinking that the next purchase is going to bring us lasting joy.
It's like we're on a treadmill, constantly striving for more, but never quite reaching that feeling of true satisfaction.
There's a really good story in the book about this couple who decided to downsize their home and sell most of their belongings.
Wow.
They were just tired of feeling weighed down by all their possessions. And they used the money to travel the world pursuing experiences instead of things.
And what happened? Did they regret giving up all that stuff?
Well, not at all. They found that simplifying their lives actually brought them more freedom and joy. Their enough wasn't tied to material possessions anymore. It was about experiences, connection, pursuing their passions.
That's such a great example of how redefining enough can be so incredibly liberating.
It is.
It's about aligning your spending with what truly matters to you. Letting go of the things that don't. And that brings us to the book's perspective on frugality.
Frugality.
Yeah.
Such a loaded word.
It is.
So many people associate it with like penny pinching or deprivation. But your money or your life flips the script on that. It presents frugality as a path to greater enjoyment and freedom.
It's not about being cheap or denying yourself things. It's about being intentional and resourceful with your spending. So you can focus on what truly brings you value. They actually delve into the etymology of the word frugal.
Oh, interesting.
Which comes from Latin roots, meaning virtue, fruit, and enjoyment.
Wow, that's fascinating.
It is.
It really like reframes the way we think about frugality.
Totally.
It's not about scarcity. It's about abundance. the abundance of appreciation for what we have, the abundance of choices we can make when we're not caught in this cycle of overconsumption.
It's about conscious consumption.
Right.
Using less stuff without sacrificing your quality of life. In fact, it often leads to a more enjoyable and fulfilling life.
Right.
Because you're freeing yourself from that constant pressure to acquire more. Now, let's shift gears a bit.
Okay.
And talk about work.
Your money or your life kind of dives into how the modern concept of work has become distorted, often leading to dissatisfaction and burnout.
Right, and they really challenge this idea that our job should be like our sole source of fulfillment and purpose.
It puts a lot of pressure on people.
It does.
To find meaning in jobs that might not actually align with their true values or passions.
Yeah, and that can create a real disconnect.
It can.
Between our need for money and our desire for fulfilling work.
Exactly.
So we end up feeling trapped in jobs we don't love.
Yeah.
Sacrificing our time and energy for a paycheck, but not feeling truly satisfied.
It's like we're trading our life energy for something that isn't truly nourishing us.
And that's where this idea of disconnecting work from wages comes in.
Yes. Such a powerful concept. It's about recognizing that our need for money doesn't have to dictate our career choices. By separating those two things, we open up a whole world of possibilities.
So it's not saying you should quit your job tomorrow and follow your bliss.
No, not at all.
Without a plan.
Right.
But it's about challenging that assumption that your job has to be your everything.
Exactly. It encourages you to start thinking about what kind of work you would find truly meaningful.
Right.
Regardless of whether it pays a lot of money.
Right.
It's about recognizing that you have choices and that your worth isn't defined by your job title or your income.
And they share some really inspiring stories.
They do.
Of people who have redefined work in their lives.
Yeah.
There's this one about this woman who left her high-paying corporate job to become a freelance writer. It was a significant pay cut.
Right.
But she gained so much more.
Yeah.
In terms of freedom and fulfillment.
It's a great example of how disconnecting work from wages can lead to a more authentic and balanced life.
It's about prioritizing your well-being.
Right.
And pursuing work that brings you joy, even if it means making some financial adjustments.
So how do we actually achieve this financial freedom that allows us to make these choices?
That is the question.
That's where the wall chart comes in, right?
Yes. The wall chart is this visual tool that helps you track your progress toward financial independence. It's a simple but powerful way to see the big picture of your financial journey.
Okay.
You plot your monthly income and expenses, track your debt, and watch your savings grow.
I've heard this is a popular tool in the FIRE movement.
It is, yeah.
Financial independence, retire early.
And one of the key concepts that it helps you visualize is the crossover point.
Okay.
And this is the moment when your monthly investment income exceeds your monthly expenses.
Okay.
Making paid employment optional.
That's an incredibly...
It is empowering concept. Just knowing that you're working toward that tangible goal can provide so much motivation and a sense of control over your future.
Absolutely. And the book emphasizes the psychological power of having a visible time horizon.
Right.
It's about knowing that you're not working endlessly with no end in sight. You're actively building toward a future where you have choices.
And then beyond the crossover point, there's this concept of cash, right?
Cash is basically your savings beyond the crossover point.
Okay.
It acts as a buffer for unexpected expenses and those big long-term goals.
Okay.
It's like your financial security blanket.
Okay.
Giving you peace of mind and the ability to handle whatever life throws your way.
So it's not just about reaching that crossover point and then stopping.
No.
It's about continuing to build that solid foundation so you can truly live with freedom and flexibility. So we've talked about financial independence.
Right.
Reaching that crossover point where work becomes a choice. But your money or your life doesn't stop there.
It doesn't.
It introduces this this fascinating concept called financial interdependence.
It's almost like graduating to a whole new level of financial well-being.
So it's not just about me and my money.
Well, it goes beyond like individual financial security, and it recognizes that true wealth encompasses so much more.
So what else is involved?
It's about recognizing the abundance that already exists in your life, your relationships, your skills, your connection to your community. It's understanding that we are all interconnected and that our well-being is tied to the well-being of others.
I'm starting to see where this is going. So instead of focusing solely on individual financial goals, financial interdependence encourages us to use our resources to make a positive impact on the world around us.
Precisely. And the book highlights 3 forms of natural wealth that are key to financial interdependence.
I'm intrigued. Break those down for me.
All right.
How do they relate to our finances?
So think of it this way.
Okay.
Abilities are your unique skills and talents, things you can offer to the world.
Okay.
Belonging is about nurturing those meaningful relationships that give you a sense of connection and purpose. And community is about recognizing your role in the larger social fabric and contributing to something bigger than yourself.
So financial interdependence is about aligning your financial life with those values.
Exactly.
Using your resources to develop your abilities, strengthen your sense of belonging, and contribute to your community.
It's about using your money and time to support causes you care about.
Right.
Nurture your relationships. Use your skills to make a difference.
Yeah.
It's about shifting your focus from individual accumulation to collective well-being.
It sounds like reaching that that enough point on the fulfillment curve frees you up.
It does.
To pursue these deeper connections.
You hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
When you're no longer striving for more, you can start focusing on what truly matters.
Right.
And the beautiful thing is you don't have to wait until you reach financial independence to start cultivating financial interdependence. It's something you can practice right now in your everyday life.
So what are some practical ways we can start incorporating that into our lives today?
Well, start by examining your spending habits. Are you supporting local businesses? Donating to charities that align with your values, volunteering your time or skills to a cause you believe in. These actions, even on a small scale, contribute to a more interconnected and supportive world.
It's about recognizing that our choices have ripple effects.
They do.
That even small acts of generosity and support can make a difference.
It's about shifting our perspective from me to we.
Right.
And recognizing that our true wealth lies in our connection to each other and to the planet.
Wow. This deep dive into your money or your life has been truly eye-opening.
It has.
We've gone way beyond basic budgeting tips. And explored this profound connection between our finances, our values, our purpose.
It's a reminder that financial freedom and fulfillment are achievable for anyone who's willing to shift their perspective and put in the effort. It's about making conscious choices with our time, money, and energy. And recognizing that we have the power to create a life that aligns with what truly matters to us.
So as you go about your day, we'll leave you with this final thought-provoking question for the book. If money wasn't a concern, what would you do with your time?
Good one.
Let that question guide you as you explore your own path to financial independence and a truly fulfilling life.
And remember, financial interdependence isn't a destination. It's a journey. Start taking those small steps today to create a more abundant and meaningful life for yourself and for those around you.